Hey, my name is Matt and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Canon V1 camera. I'm going to be going through the camera settings and pretty much setting it up the way I would prefer it to be set up. We're going to be using this camera for my wife's channel and for a couple's channel, and we kind of want to just make sure that it's set and forget and it's ready to take on any challenge. So the settings that I'm going to be talking about today are pretty much going towards that. So if you kind of have the same content style and whatnot, and you're just looking to just get going, these settings might just work for you as well. Just be aware that I'm going to be setting the frame rate at 24 frames per second. Not all people want to set their cameras at that. Some people like it at 30 or 60. 24 frames per second is going to work for our situation. So if you need to adjust it accordingly to your situation, please do so. Other than that, we should get started. So first thing we're going to do with the camera on, we're going to reset it, do a factory reset, get everything back to the way it came out of the box. So what you want to do is go to menu and then just scroll through the menu until you go to the little tool icon, and then it should be under the 5th page. So reset camera, other settings, nope, let's just go ahead and do the basic settings. Clear all camera settings. Cool. So it's a brand new camera. Essentially everything should be back to factory reset. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go to the top dial, and we're gonna make sure that this guy is flipped to video mode, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the dial that's on top and put it in TV mode. TV mode is pretty much aperture priority, and this allows you to set your aperture. So these settings are going to be based off of you doing 24 frames per second, which is industry standard. But the first thing we want to do is go to the first page in the menu. Right now it's set for 30 frames per second. Right now it says 29.97p, but I'm going to go ahead and pick this guy, which is a 4K 23.98p. And that seems to work for most situations. So let's click that guy. High frame rate, we're going to keep that disabled. Sound recording is going to be left on. Audio format, 16-bit 2-channel. Yeah, should be built-in microphone. We'll keep that on auto. We've tried the camera so far, and auto has been the best option. You can also put it in manual and then do some adjustments. Turn down your volume here, raise it up. It just depends on whatever's working for your situation, but we're going to keep it in auto. Wind filter, we're going to turn that off, and we're going to turn or disable auto noise reduction, mainly because all these settings are those two settings you can do in your post editing software, and I would rather do that edit on the computer instead of having it inside the camera and permanently write that onto the SD card. So let's go back to the menu. Page 3, exposure compensation, let's leave that alone. ISO speed settings, pretty much leave that alone. Okay, so for ND filter, we're going to keep that in auto because I don't want to manually turn it on every single time. This is vlogging. I don't want to turn it off because sometimes we're going to be out and about and it's going to be a bright sunny day. So let's have the camera decide on that. Next, we're going to do picture profile or picture style, and we're going to keep it in standard. We're not going to allow it to do any adjustments and stuff. We want to just keep it in standard. Canon log settings, we're not going to mess with that. We're not going to color filter off. Yeah, we're going to do off, no coloring. HDR setting, off. Yep, let's move on to the next page. White balance, auto white balance. Yeah, we'll keep that. We can do all these other ones. You can do custom ones, the color temperature that you want to choose. I trust the camera, so let's just go ahead and use auto white balance. And like I said, these are settings for myself and what I use. We want to make sure that this is completely for run and gun situations. When you're vlogging, everything is different, everything's fast paced, everything is changing. So these are the settings that I suggest you put if you're going to be filming the same type of content. So tally lamp on, that's basically the indicator, the red light indicator on the front of the camera, lets you know that you're recording. Next thing is image stabilization mode. On, let's see, I would say turn this on. When I had it in enhance, it really zoomed in and it cropped out most of the picture. You can if you're doing wobbly footage, but I found out that the basic on function really helps out, and it's more than enough. So I think we'll keep that as is, or we'll turn it on, not enhance. Yep. So make sure your settings look like that, and then don't touch any of those. Auto power off. So basically when your camera starts to overheat, it's going to turn off. And I don't want that. I want to have it go until it actually just dies completely. So I'm going to set that to high. You can turn that on or turn it off. It's up to you. So for standby low res, let's go ahead and turn that off. I want to see as much quality as I possibly can with this camera. Shut down warning guidance on. We'll just leave that the way it is. We're now in the focusing section of the menu. We're going to enable that guy. I don't really know what that means. So for autofocus area, we'll keep that on whole area autofocus, focus mode, autofocus. We don't want to keep it in manual. We want to do autofocus. Okay, let's see. Subject detection. We'll keep that on people, and we'll do eye detection so that the eyes are always in focus. Let's see. We'll keep all that the same. Okay, next, we're going to skip the playback menu. Let's see. So let's go into this page. This is your camera settings, pretty much the general operation of the camera. Format card, that's inside this menu. This is good for you to clear your memory card. When you first use this camera and you have a memory card, make sure you format the card before you start going. It's just going to help the camera learn how to interact with that card. We'll keep all that the same. You can set your time. You pretty much did that when you first started the camera or started up the camera. Keep all that the same. Enable beep. We're actually going to disable that because when you hit record, it pretty much makes a beeping sound. Screen brightness. I like my screen really bright. It's going to drain the battery, but that's why you have extra batteries. Night display, that pretty much turns your camera into a darker screen, changes the colors a little bit, but we'll keep that off. And then startup image, it's either that guy or that guy. I like that guy, Powershot V1. Tells me what I'm filming with. Cooling fan settings, just keep it in auto. Lens retraction, keep it at a minute. Power saving, so screen dimmer. I don't want the screen to go dim at all, so I'm gonna disable that. Screen off, that's where I'll keep it at, let's say 30 seconds. And then auto power off, we'll do 30 seconds as well. Okay, so we're good with that. We don't want to reset the camera, we did that already. Battery info, this is where you're gonna find your battery level. And recharge performance basically means, hey, your battery's still in good health or it's starting to deteriorate, so you might want to think about replacing it with a new battery. Use the manufacturer batteries that they have. Copyright information, you can fill that out. Basically say, this is my camera, these are my files, etc. Let's see. And touch control. I actually disable this because when I disable it, it doesn't allow you to touch the screen and actually move around. When you enable it, it does. Some people like it, some people don't, but I am under the assumption that I should keep it disabled because I have a lot of issues with touching the wrong buttons. I got lost. So I keep it off. So let's find that. Yep, there we go. Cool. So I'm going to turn that off, and then that just basically doesn't allow me to mess up anything that's happening on the camera. Let's see. This is, you could create your own little menus and stuff and put whatever you want. I'm not really going to get into that today because this is a fresh camera and we really haven't got into deciding what we want to keep. Let's see. Oh, that's what I'm going to have to do. This guy right here is 1/125. So I'm going to have to go into the screen or into the menu and go back to touch control. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do that, but that's the only way I know how to do it right now. So let's set it to 1/50. let's go back. Basically, you just touch it and then you scroll along through here. So 1/50, you see that. You want to make sure you put that setting into your camera when you're in TV mode. And then, like I said, I don't want to be touching the camera and stuff and messing that up, so I'm gonna go ahead and disable that. So those are all the settings that I wanted to really dial in as soon as we got the camera. Hopefully those settings are gonna work for you. I'm definitely gonna dial it in some more, probably do an update video when I do that, but for now that should get you going. It's gonna get us going. I hope you're able to take benefit from this video and all the settings that I have for this guy. So please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next video.